What's up guys, it's BST or Bono Sports Talk back with you guys again, bringing you another video. And today, as you can see by the screen up, I'm going to be bringing you who I think should win the trophies for the 2015-16 NHL season. Now, the video image might be like a little stretched and distorted. It may not be. I'm just not sure how the thing's going to render this video, but that's besides the point. Let's just get right into my picks because I don't want to take too long. So, as you can see here, NHL Awards Las Vegas, yada yada yada. Let's scroll down. And we'll start off because they have it all listed with the people who were nominated and so on. So I'll just go down the list. So we'll start off with the Hart Trophy. This is basically like an MVP equivalent for the NHL. So we have here Sidney Crosby from the Pens, Jamie Benn from the Stars, and Patrick Kane from the Blackhawks. Now, personally, I believe that Sidney Crosby should win the Hart Trophy again. Now, I know Patrick Kane got over 100 points and had a huge deal of success. He had a huge part of the success for the Blackhawks. Same thing for Jamie Benn. However, Sidney Crosby was very good towards the end of the regular season and helped the Penguins get that final push to make the playoff spot. And, you know, he ended up winning the Stanley Cup and the Conn Smythe, and I just think the way it's aligned, they're probably going to give him the Hart Trophy. Now, I think he does deserve it in the sense that in the regular season he performed very well. Also, you can make very good cases for Jamie Benn and Patrick Kane. If it's not going to be Crosby, it's probably going to be Patrick Kane. I don't think Jamie Benn's going to win it. It's going to probably be between Crosby and Kane. But personally, I think that Crosby should win the Hart Trophy, and he's more than likely going to win it. But like I said, if it's not him, it's probably going to be Patrick Kane. Now, going down more, we have the Vezina Trophy, which is the best goalie in the NHL, and we have Ben Bishop on the Lightning, Braden Holtby from the Capitals, and Jonathan Quick from the Los Angeles Kings. Now, I think it's pretty even between Ben Bishop and Braden Holtby, similar between Kane and Crosby, because you have great regular season performance from Holtby, which obviously won the President's Trophy, and everybody thought that Holtby was going to win the Vezina right off the bat because he performed well the entire season. But Ben Bishop did the exact same thing, and also he helped carry his team farther down the playoffs, farther into the playoffs without Stamkos, and he had to really step up his game, which he did, and Ben Bishop was able to help the Lightning go farther down. However, just because the whole Capitals team was great this year, I believe that Braden Holtby will win the Vezina Trophy. Next, we have the Norris Trophy, which is awarded to the best defenseman in the NHL. Personally, I think that Brent Burns should win this, especially since he contributed a huge role in the San Jose Sharks' success in the playoffs, and also he also helped take that team to the Stanley Cup final in the first time in franchise history. Now, it's probably going to be Erik Karlsson, but I honestly want Brent Burns to win it a lot more, just because of how he really helped that team go farther in the playoffs. And even though his regular season stats were not as good as, say, Erik Karlsson, I personally think that Brent Burns should win. However, I think that Erik Karlsson is going to end up winning. For Calder Trophy, I think that Shane Gostisbehere should win. Artemi Panarin or Connor McDavid are probably going to be the two that win it, unfortunately. Just because Connor McDavid, even though he was injured, people just fucking love him, which pisses me off so much because he hasn't even proven himself yet. But I personally think that Shane Gostisbehere should should win the Vezina, should win the Calder Trophy, because similar to Andrew Hammond a few seasons ago with the Ottawa Senators, Shane Gostisbehere was called up from the minors, and nobody really expects him to do this good, but he single-handedly, well, actually no, I take that back, because Andrew Hammond did single-handedly save the Senators season a few years ago, but Shane Gostisbehere had a huge role in saving the Flyers seasons, because nobody thought the Flyers were going to make the playoffs this year, because they were just sitting out of the playoff spot by like 2-3 points for like weeks on end, and they were just so close. And when Shane Gostisbehere came in, he was really able to help them break through that wall and get the wild card spot. So I personally think that Shane Gostisbehere deserves it. However, it's probably going to end up being Panarin. Lady Byng, which is like the most friendly, most sportsmanlike player. We have Louis Eriksson from the Bruins, Alexander Barkov from the Panthers, and Kopitar from the Kings. Now, not to say that Kopitar is rude or anything like that, but I think that it should be between Louis Eriksson and Alexander Barkov. Either way, I really don't mind either three of these guys winning because they're all good people. Obviously, since I'm a Bruins fan, I hope Louis Eriksson wins it because, you know, he's never even been in a fight. He never goes crazy with excessive celebrations, never does any dirty hits. He's not about that. Same thing for Barkov. So obviously, it's just between all three of these people, it doesn't really matter. But I'm hoping Louis Eriksson will win it. And let's carry on. So we have Selke Trophy, which is the best two-way forward, which is the best forward at the defensive aspect of the game. We have Kessler from the Ducks, Kopitar again from the Kings, and Bergeron from the Bruins. Now, I think this is sort of an easy one here. It's probably going to be Patrice Bergeron yet again. No offense to Ryan Kessler and Ducks fans, but he's just kind of there. I don't think he's going to win it, so I think I'm going to take him off the board right there. It's probably going to be between Anze Kopitar and Patrice Bergeron, and if you look at the stats, Patrice Bergeron has Anze Kopitar beat in pretty much everything, except I think Anze Kopitar has a better face-off winning percentage. I could be wrong. It did like a certain zone, defensive zone, offensive zone, something like that, but Patrice Bergeron's got great stats all around, and I think he's going to be able to win this again. Going down more, we have the Jack Adams Award, which is the best coach in the NHL. We have Barry Trotz from the Washington Capitals, Lindy Ruff from the Dallas Stars, and Gerald Gallant from the Florida Panthers. Now, I want Gerald Gallant from the Florida Panthers to win it because the Florida Panthers were on the verge of doing good 2 seasons ago, and now this season they were really good, and they were one of the best teams in the NHL, and they won the Atlantic Division, and he was really able to like well-round these players, even old guys like Jaromir Jagr, but still keep the new guys in like Jonathan Huberdeau, keep those guys good, Barkov, and I think that was really good by him because he was just really able to coach this team well, and obviously they had a lot of success. They won the division. But I think that the coach that will in fact win it is Barry Trotz because they won the President's Trophy, and there's no denying if your team wins the President's Trophy, that means you're the best team in the NHL in the regular season. So Barry Trotz is probably going to win it, and just like some of the other trophies, I could totally understand if Barry Trotz wins. He totally deserves it. And same thing with Lindy Ruff. We have the Bill Masterton Trophy, which is perseverance, you know, like if there's anything like any injuries that happen and you just keep going, something like that. You know, just keep persevering, never stopping despite something that happens, anything like that. We have Jaromir Jagr from the Florida Panthers, Matt Zuccarello from the New York Rangers, and Pascal Dupuis from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, I want Pascal Dupuis to win it because of the whole thing with the blood clots and everything. That's really unfortunate, and it's just going to totally end his career. So as a goodbye, the NHL is probably going to end up giving the trophy to him. If not him, it's probably going to be Jagr just because of the Panthers' success. I don't really see Matt Zuccarello winning this trophy, honestly, but I really hope Pascal Dupuis wins the trophy, and I do think he will in fact win it because you know how he's like leaving the NHL, so they want to give him like a final honor, and then he'll just be gone and retire. Next, we have the Ted Lindsay Award, which is the most outstanding player. This is another. It should be held more important than it actually is. Like, this trophy is actually a pretty good honor, but it's usually not as held as something as high as the Hart Trophy or something like that. We have Patrick Kane from the Blackhawks, and Jamie Benn from the Stars, and Braden Holtby from the Capitals. Now for this one, since we have no Crosby, but it's saying the most outstanding player, I think that this is easily going to be Patrick Kane because here's keywords here, most outstanding player. So we have Patrick Kane here. He got over 100 points in the regular season. This is an easy pick. There's no debate. It's going to be Kane. I mean, you get over 100 points in the regular season. There's no way you don't win an award like this. Up next, we have the Mark Messier Leadership Award. Obviously, this is the best leader on and off the ice. We have Ovechkin from the Capitals, Shea Weber from the Preds, and Jonathan Tavares from the New York Islanders. Now, I really want Tavares to win this because Tavares is not underrated. He has his own little following there, even from people that don't like the Islanders, like including myself. I like Jonathan Tavares, but this guy he's kind of on the quiet side when it comes to I don't know how to describe it. Like you know how Alexander Ovechkin and Jonathan Tavares are actually like on a similar skill level. Like they're both pretty equally good in skill. But like Alexander Ovechkin like makes more noise off. That's hard to explain, but Jonathan Tavares doesn't do too much like off the ice, like media-wise, which is why you don't hear too much about him. But he's like really good, one of the best players in the entire National Hockey League. Like this guy is so good, but people just don't recognize him simply because he doesn't really do too much with the media, and he's on the Islanders, and Islanders are kind of like, I don't want to say irrelevant, but they don't really have that big of a fan base outside of New England. Like nobody really cares about them. But yeah, I really want him to win. He's a great leader on the ice. Obviously, he went from assistant captain all the way up to captain in the previous years, and you know he's really good at leading this team. Him and Okapozo, who is unfortunately not going to be with the Islanders anymore, but we're able to like lead this team very well, and I think that he should win Mark Messier Leadership Award. But Ovechkin and Shea Weber are great picks as well. Next, we have the NHL Foundation Award. This is like more of a different kind of thing. It's not necessarily like performance-wise. It's more of a community thing. So we have Matt Martin, PK Subban, and Mark Giordano from the Islanders, Canadiens, and Flames. This one is kind of a toss-up. I don't really know too much about the NHL Foundation Awards, so honestly, it could go to any of these people. I'm not really sure. I guess it's going to be Subban just because people know about him more and he's a Canadiens player, so there might be a bias there. I honestly have no idea. I'm not too, like I said before, I'm just not too sure about the NHL Foundation Award. I'm not sure how this thing works exactly, but I guess I'll just say Subban just because he's like on the Canadiens more well known than Giordano and Martin. And next we have the King Clancy Award. This leadership thing is for each individual team, so you pick one person from each team. So I'll just do the Bruins here because I'm a Bruins fan. I think this is easily going to be Bergeron. Even though Zdeno Chara is the captain, you could tell in every single game, you know, Bergeron is always out there hustling his guys, telling his guys to hustle, even though he's the alternate captain. I feel like when Chara is released, traded, retires, or whatever he does with his career, I feel like Bergeron is definitely going to become captain of the Boston Bruins, which is good because I feel like Bergeron is one of the few players on the Bruins that people don't actually like hate. Like, I feel like Bergeron, Krejci, Rask, like I feel like those are the few guys people don't hate, but everybody else on their team, people hate fucking Marchand, McQuaid, Bolesky. People just hate Ronaldo. Like, people just hate everybody on their team pretty much. But there you go, guys. I'm not gonna do like any photoshopping or anything like circling like the names or whatever, but you guys get the point, so you just rewind the video if you forgot my picks or whatever. But yeah, so I hope you guys can watch this. It should be a lot of fun. I usually don't watch it live just because it's like the commercials are just insane, and then the actual show time is like so short. But I usually watch the recaps where they just announce all the different winners and stuff. But I'll be checking to see if my predictions were right, if the players I wanted to win. But yeah, overall, I think this is a pretty good picks from myself. I'm pretty sure we could all agree on most of them, because I mean, all these guys, just to get nominated in the first place, you got to be good for all these skilled rewards. So I feel like everybody deserves it under all circumstances. So thanks for watching, guys. I promised I'd make an NHL video, so here it is. And I'm probably gonna upload this just today as I'm making this, which is June 21st, I believe. Yeah. And yeah, just thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video.